Yo, what is going on, guys? So, Eagles joint practice for the second day, but there was no joint practice with the Miami Dolphins. Apparently, Miami Dolphins caught a stomach bug. So, the Eagles actually stayed in Miami and they practiced on the field today against each other. So, it's unfortunate. I mean, they must have got sick at the right time away from this team, right away from our team, just because a stomach bug is going around and a lot of players are sick. I understand it's not the virus. People are complaining about why can't they just practice? It's only like you never know. Like when it comes to food poisoning, when it comes to physically, it's going to take you out. And really your bodies aren't going to be right. You don't want these players catching this stuff. God knows how long it's going to take for them to get back on their feet from it. And you don't want that to happen. So Miami stayed away from the field today. The Eagles practice by themselves. There is some rumors about the preseason game Saturday at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern that it could be canceled. It's not official, but it's going to be a bummer for some of these guys on the back end of our roster that's really trying to make it and get the coach's attention and do some things like that. But we'll see. I mean, until I find out more news about it, I'm not going to go crazy about it. But as so far on right now that the game is still going to happen Saturday. But we'll get into that later at the end of this video. So I want to go over the injuries for the day. Now, it looks like A.J. Brown had a rest day today, well-deserved, and you had Andre Dillard. Landon Dickerson had a rest day today. So you had Derek Barnett with the rib, Sean Bradley with the illness. You had Andre Shashir with the groin, Christian Ellis hamstring, Hargrave toe, Josh Jobe elbow, Jason Kelsey elbow, Miles Sanders still out with a hamstring injury, still didn't practice. Kind of crazy. Josiah Scott, hamstring. Greg Ward, toe. Jack Anderson returned to practice off the rib injury. Not much. It was an hour practice. It was probably it seemed like it was a very quick practice. It might not even been a full hour, probably close to it, but it was quick today. I think the Eagles just wanted to get in a quick practice and kind of get back home, or maybe they are staying there for the next few days, because I think they're playing in Miami. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. So I'm going to talk about the offense, defense. Nothing crazy today, like I said. So Minshew actually threw a pick today. It actually deflected off Richard Rodgers. The ball went to the line of scrimmage, and it was actually a pick on Teron Jackson today, which was kind of crazy. Zach Pascal had first team reps. A.J. Brown was not playing on the rest day today, so Pascal had a touchdown on the right pylon, which was great. They did a lot of red zone work today. Boston Scott, fully back and looking pretty good, explosive today. Had some good runs today, which is good. So I thought Boston Scott looked really good in the preseason game against the Browns. And then, Minshew threw a touchdown to Gainwell wide open from the backfield as well. So he went from the backfield and went out as a receiver. And, Gainwell, I thought, Gainwell looked like he was just smoking that whole Browns defense. I thought he did really well, a good vision, and not saying that he has a special running skill set, but the guy is productive, and the guy knows, the guy runs hard, and and the offensive line has been fantastic, especially in that Browns preseason game. I thought they blocked for him really well, and it was nice seeing Kenneth Gainwell in live action last week, because that was the first time we saw him since last year. We didn't really, because he wasn't playing in that Jets preseason game. I know he was out for that week, so that was the case for that. Hurts to Goddard for a touchdown. I think it was the front of the end zone, right in front of the goal line. With big play, Slay right behind him. And then I think the next play, Slay knocks down a deflection, a pass to Devontae Smith, and then Smith came back with a back shoulder touchdown over Zech McPherson. Zech McPherson, I don't know. I feel like Josh Jobe has been the talk of recent events of this training camp and joint practices. Zech McPherson, his name has kind of disappeared a little bit from day to day. So we're going to see find out what's going on with him, and obviously the final cuts for Tuesday. Now Sweat was in coverage a good amount of times today, and Hurts was taking advantage of that. So Hurts, ran a lot of, was scrambling a lot today for some yards, which was good, because you're going to have that with Jalen Hurts. If nobody's open, if they see these defensive ends drop back in coverage and, there is a lane with a blocker in front for Jalen Hurts, they could do that as well. So, but really other than that, Reed Blankenship was actually was on the second team today, which I was really happy about. Reed Blankenship, I'm not saying that he's anything special, but the guy's just been productive. being a safety and being on special teams. So Reed has moved up to the second team defense, which is a pretty good sign right now. And that was pretty much it. I mean, that was pretty much it today. Anthony Harris had a deflection today. So it was a quiet, I don't think they even practiced for over an hour. I think it was like maybe an hour, maybe a little bit less than that. It wasn't a long practice. Depending on what they're doing, if they're staying in Miami or they're going home today, I'm not sure what they're doing. Depending on, the league has to figure out what's going on with the Miami Dolphins, and these guys have gotten sick. And you know what? To be on the safe side, I don't know. In my opinion, they maybe should. I don't want it canceled. I'd rather have them play, at least the guys that have to stay home. It really depends. If 3/4 of the roster is sick, they probably have to cancel it because they're not going to have enough bodies to dress up for a preseason game. If they have enough bodies to where they have, a couple teams, 3 teams at least, and it's not, and it gets better the next couple days. Obviously, we have a couple more days, so hopefully things will shape up a little bit better. But it would kind of suck to kind of cancel this preseason game, and then obviously, these guys on the back end of this roster, some of these depth pieces that are trying to push to make a roster spot, are going to get gypped out of it. Even though there are guys that aren't going to make the team, they can't just deny them a proper analysis and observation from a preseason game that could be canceled, which I think is BS. But it just depends on how many of these Miami Dolphins players are sick. And obviously, if we play with them and some of these guys are still sick, even if they're getting better, but they are still sick, it could make a difference because our players could get it. It's not the virus, but it could be almost anything else. Which, what if it's, I don't know what it could be. It could be a stomach bug that's just, for weeks. These guys, sometimes a stomach bug could take you out physically for a couple weeks and your body's not right and it takes your body to get back to 100% when you get off of that. So I don't think the Eagles want to risk that, but it's definitely something we have to keep an eye on the next couple days. And, it would kind of suck if they canceled the preseason game. I kind of want to watch this game. I think half of us want this game to be over with so the regular season starts. But I think the Eagles have had, this is it. This is the last joint practice. We're done. No more joint practices. And, after this last game, it's now we're down to, the real practices that we're going to start to now put our focus on the Detroit Lions, and we move forward from there. Now we're down to crunch time after Saturday. The starters are not playing Saturday. They weren't going to play Saturday, just like they didn't play last week against the Browns. So I wouldn't make a big deal out of it. It's just how I don't like how they've run training camp. I didn't like how the way, the length, I didn't like the length of the practices. I didn't like how it was that the joint practices were really the only time they were live hitting. It kind of worries me a little bit. And obviously not putting enough stars in that second game, I just feel like there's going to be rust going down the road to this first game until they get their feet wet during a game. And, then they get into the groove of things. But, it's all about rust, shaking off that rust, in that first game of the season against Detroit. And that's what we're aiming at right now to hopefully, that not happening would be nice. So it wasn't much news today. A lot, like I said, I think it was a little bit of a shorter practice today. I don't think it was even over an hour, but yeah, that's it. We're ready for the season. We're ready to go. And I'll update you guys on what's going on with the game on Saturday and what we're going to do. Obviously, I'll be streaming this game Saturday, what's happening. So other than that, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think just about today. And what do you guys thought about training camp? Obviously, these joint practices. And at least we got a day in with Miami yesterday, which was a very entertaining day, matter of fact. So other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Takes what up, follows 5. Peace out, guys. Peace.